Now I don't know how to intro this thing. We just had a full-on conversation for 10 minutes about AI.
Yeah, I can tell you that my 2-year-old is going around calling people big backs.
Wow.
I don't know where it came from.
Big bags.
I went up to yesterday. He said, "Daddy, big back." I was like, "Hold the fuck up!" Wow. Wait a minute.
Jesus, shots fired.
Sorry, we also were riding home, and Casey goes, "Zayden, yeet." He goes, "No yeet."
Oh, damn.
He's an ass.
Wow.
Big backs and no yeet. Shout out to 2-year-olds.
Kids are assholes.
I love them. I love it though. I kind of love when my kid's an asshole. I'm like, who? Why? Why are you doing this? Who taught you this? But also, it's way more funnier when they're an asshole.
Well, yes. Until it's not.
Yeah.
And then it's a problem.
It's funny when they're 2 and they don't realize they're being an asshole. But when my 5-year-old does it and I know he knows what he's doing, that I don't like.
Yeah. Now you want to act like a grown man.
Yeah.
You might get treated like a grown man. Let's not do this.
Yeah.
Welcome to Who F'n Kneauxs podcast. I'm Patty V. We got Aaron. We got Dave.
Yep.
Exactly.
What's up, guys? We might be at war now.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Every week you'll just get a war update.
Your weekly war update.
Apparently.
Will we get drafted? Will we not get drafted?
They were 2 weeks away from.
Cut to 3 months later. We're like, we're getting drafted.
Aaron just doesn't show up one weekend. That's it. No, what's funny is like a couple weeks from now, we're probably not going to record, and it's either because Patty's got another kid or we got drafted.
Or both. Do you get security clearance? You're like, look, I just had a baby. I can't go. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I'm also blind as a bat.
What lengths are you willing to go to not get drafted? That's the question.
I don't know.
I don't feel
what
like
are the exact requirements to be in?
Is there
age? There's got to be an
first
age.
of all.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think but wouldn't surprise me if we just all of a sudden signed a thing and we're like, hey, guess what's back?
I signed
the BTS
executive order. It was the greatest executive
the biggest order. You're going bye-bye.
Jeez.
BTS had a whole thing, the little K-pop group, but I know that was a different country, but just in the middle of their tour, they're just like, hey, you're getting shipped off to war. You got drafted.
Yeah, it's crazy.
If
years, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I cut my pinky toe off, does that get me out of being drafted?
Good Lord. You're willing to get out of this thing.
Just say you have asthma.
I might.
Well, they're going to run a machine that's going to say people like you are not good Americans, and then they might throw you in a camp.
You know what?
You might have to watch your back, buddy.
Yeah, get put on the bad Americas list.
You live in Covington. This is not a good place to not be American, okay? Just saying. They had the No Kings rally that it was obviously going around everywhere. And my wife sent it to me one day and she's like, should we not go to Covington today? Because like they're doing this No Kings rally. And I was like, honey, you know where we live? I'm pretty sure this is the one place in America where they don't give a shit if Donald Trump wants to be a king.
Yeah.
They're all for it. It's fine.
I think Mandeville even more so, to be honest.
Probably. Yeah.
You can just go ahead and just say the North Shore, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's a fair point.
You know, yeah.
I don't know. It is what it is. I was hanging out with my buddy the other day. By the way, we should get a golf simulator and put it in someone's garage, and that should just be what we do.
Well, you're the only. So here's the thing: my garage, you've seen it. There ain't no room for a golf simulator in there. This one doesn't have a garage.
What garage?
Yeah,
yeah.
You got all kinds of space. You just got to clear some shit up.
That's what I'm saying. So I realized I just dove into this topic with no context. But I went to my buddy's house the other day and we were kind of having a conversation. He works for the government. Okay. And he had said some things. He's like, I don't know which way you lean. And he lives over here. He lives in Mandeville. He's like, but you know, these guys don't know what they're doing. They're trying to cut jobs. And I'm like, okay, buddy, I don't know. I'm not trying to get in this conversation right now. But I agree with you. Sort of. But yeah. Anyways, we need a golf simulator. I think it'd be really fun. He literally has, it's like $599. I looked it up. And he has it in his garage. And I played 18 holes. It was a par 3 course, and I shot a 105. So whatever.
So was it you, or we blaming the accuracy of said simulator?
It was me, but I'll tell you this: it took time. Apparently there's like indoor swing syndrome. His ceiling is. They say you're supposed to have a 10-foot ceiling for this. His ceiling's 9.5 foot. So every time I would swing, I would kind of like pull up. But what I loved about it, and something I learned very quickly, is like, there's a replay video and you can see like how you miss hit and it'll like slow motion it and show you. Mm-hmm. And I realized 90% of my problems playing golf, I stand too freaking far away from the ball. Mm-hmm. That quick. Learned it that quick. Use your technology more. Anyways.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about my golf swing, but
Yeah, I've told him before, like I've wanted to go get fitted for clubs in the past, but like all the places over here do indoor like testing. Like I don't want to do that. Like if I'm gonna do it, or even lessons, like I don't want to do it indoors because I'm the same way. No matter where I'm at, even when I would go to like Dick's or Academy and go hit the simulator, I'd be like, I don't feel like I could swing my fullest here.
yeah,
Especially me, because telling where this ball's going,
Kill your wrist too. Just hitting on turf like that.
Yeah.
You can't scoop the club underneath and it's just destroying your wrist.
I had a net in my backyard for a while. And it didn't come with a mat. So I was just hitting off my yard. I didn't even like doing that
yeah.
because it just,
Well, that's something else I found is like I don't like digging into the mat, so
Yeah.
I'll just try and take it clean every time, which
Mhm.
also it's not it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So
I said, it's kind of golf related. No, it was actually golf related. It's about a month ago. I was at my wife's friend's house and they had this kind of younger girl and we were just talking about golf. And then she said some kind of like golf analogy that her dad uses on the course. Essentially like, does your wife play? Like something like that when you leave a putt short.
mm-hmm.
And all I said was, she was talking about the golf game. And I said, yeah, I use something similar like that. It's, it's the term, it's the Indian, not the arrow. And she like golfed at me. She was just like, well, mine's a little more PC. And I'm like, I was not aware that was something that, I mean, were there not Indians? Were there not arrows?
I don't know.
I didn't think that was a
that's the
bad
thing.
thing to say. I'm like,
I think the context there matters. Like, how is that? Can you just not say Indian?
I guess
as a Native American,
Approved.
Yeah.
Approved.
we can
That's my new thing.
Oh,
my new thing.
an arrowhead,
Yeah.
and nobody has a problem with that. But God forbid, I say,
Yeah, I don't get any of it, to be honest with you. We can have the Braves. We can't have the Indians.
yeah,
We can have the Seminoles. We can't have the Redskins.
Yeah,
I guess Redskins, I get. That's a little.
but now they want to bring it back.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was like,
whatever.
I don't know, maybe, I guess cancel culture still is a thing, but it seems like it was way more like, there was a time where you couldn't say or do anything without worried about being canceled. Now you obviously have to worry about that, but it was like, shit was getting taken down. Like people were getting like,
People were offended
people
by
were
everything.
bringing up shit from 15, 20 years
It was-
ago.
it was
People were
kind of-
offended about everything.
It was kind of during COVID time. It was almost like we didn't have anything better to do.
Yeah.
So people were like, yep, we're trapped. Time to start making some fucking changes. And some of it, good,
Sure.
right? Good. But then we got to it got to the point where they were saying the Florida leave for the Saints was offensive. And I was like, oh, we are just going after all kinds of shit now. Which, for being honest, it was like, hold on, you're going to my turf now. And I don't know if I like it. You're not going to change my fucking team.
Listen, I mean, people's feelings get hurt. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not sitting here saying I'm insensitive to things because I was the same person during some of these conversations where I was just like, I just want to understand. Like, can you I started a podcast during COVID with my buddy who's not white. I'll put it like that. And most of our conversations were like, hey, can you explain this to me? I just want to know. And we would have conversations. It was dope. I loved it. But the one thing I appreciate about Donald Trump is that people don't fucking do that anymore. Okay. Not that I'm saying we need to go around being racist because that's not good. Let's not do that.
That's not good.
Right. Let's not do that. But let's stop being little crybaby bitches.
Mhm.
You know, like it's some things that are going to hurt your feelings,
Yeah.
right? My daughter comes home crying randomly sometimes, and I want to kill the boys that said things to her. But guess what? It's life, and we're going to move past it.
That's right.
Anyways, yeet. No, yeet. Actually, I don't know. Yeet.
Well, I was agreeing with you.
Yeet.
So
Yeet.
yeah. I saw How to Train Your Dragon today.
Nice.
Guys, new bar for the remakes, for the live action things. Haven't seen the Stitch movie yet,
Mm-hmm.
but How to Train Your Dragon, that's the bar. Anybody who's going to make another live action, you got to do it that way. We didn't. I think it was shot for shot remake. Maybe. I don't know. If not, it's pretty damn close. But it was so much better than the regular animated version.
Yeah.
It's hard to mess up anything that has dragons in it.
Maybe.
That's a take, but you know what? You might not be wrong.
I'm not gonna lie. I had a Rolodex in my head. I thought Shrek.
I
thought How to Train Your, not How to Train. I thought
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah. House of Dragons.
House
And I
of
was like,
Dragons.
okay, like those are 3 for 3.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You might be right. I don't know. I'm not going to say no.
Because my initial reaction was like, you got to be wrong. And then
Nothing bats 1,000.
I can't think of anything. So maybe. I don't know.
You're right. It's like
Dragons bat 1,000, baby.
there you go. Dragons
Hall of
bat
Fame.
1,000.
First ballot. You want a successful movie? Put a dragon in it.
There you go.
Just all I'm thinking about right now is movies with dragons, and I got nothing
I don't know.
other than what I've said.
I feel like I need
Hercules has some dragons.
Okay.
Cool little scene in there.
Good movie. I love Hercules.
We're doing the live action. We'll see how that goes.
They've had a lot
maybe.
of live action.
Disney's just going to
Hercules.
keep shooting. We talked about it a long time ago. It's like Disney's going to just keep pumping out live action remakes of certain movies.
I saw a post today that Disney has brought in 2D animators and are trying to go back to 2D films, like the OG Lion King and Tarzan and things like that. And they say they're coming up with some pretty wild stuff.
Cool.
So, do we think we ever go back to that?
Maybe. I think nostalgia always has a place. People are buying things today, like trying to dress like they're from the 90s.
Yeah.
They decorate their home like they're from the 90s. I think there's waves of things where people just look back and want to recreate things, but they're always a little better.
Nostalgia always plays.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, maybe. It probably won't last forever. They'll probably do it for a while and then move to something else.
It's an endless merch. Like when the Ninja Turtles came back on, everybody was buying Ninja Turtle stuff. Lion King came back, everybody's buying Lion King stuff.
I found an Instagram that's creates and sells the actual Ninja Turtle costumes from Secret of the Ooze and the one before that. There's regular Ninja Turtles.
The kind of somewhat creepy Ninja Turtle
They're
costumes.
$5,000. They're ridiculous, but they look so cool. I want one so
How amazing
bad.
of a pod would that be?
I was-
Just come
I was-
in all dressed as Ninja
That was my
Turtles.
first thought, was just sitting here with like a Raphael mask, just like,
We got to go all three of us, right?
Yeah,
have
that's
to.
what I'm saying.
So they sell just the masks. It's like the whole head, by the way, and it moves. Like it attaches to you and it moves when you talk, and like it looks creepy, just like the movie. But it's stupid expensive. So you can buy just that. You can buy that in the hands, or you can buy the whole costume. And the whole costume is like $5,000. The head's like $600.
Jesus. We can write that off, right? We're doing it for a pod.
I mean, we could write it off.
we can all get in a costume. Somebody can be Splinter, somebody can be Shredder, and somebody
I
can be
don't know
Ninja.
if they have Splinter and Shredder. They should though.
We can cosplay it somehow. There's got to be some kind of cosplay.
You just dress up like a mouse. You're a rat.
Like, no, you're Ratatouille. Oh, shit.
I'll
That's
come
all
in
they
as
had.
I'll
You know?
come in as Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese is pretty close.
Yeah. I'd be like,
Change the
"Oh, it's
outfit."
Chuck E. Cheese. Nope. But I'll put a big S on the front instead of a C.
Did Splinter wear clothes? He did. It was
He
like,
wears a robe.
Yeah.
Like a little pinkish red robe.
there you go. Just buy a robe. Take off the Chuck E. Cheese shirt and shorts. Buy a robe.
Chuck E. Cheese kind of creepy, being honest.
Yeah. Especially the new one. He looks cracked out. It's weird.
It's like a skater boy cracked out version.
Yeah. Have you been there lately? Every
After we talked about it, I ended up taking Noah to it, and he had a blast. The like 60-minute unlimited is like
Game changer. I was just legit.
so they have like the TV screens and it plays music, but every music is like it's remade in the vein of Chuck E. Cheese. It's really weird. It's like pop music, stuff you know, and you're like singing it, and then it's like this isn't what I remember because it's Chuck E. Cheese. It's crazy.
it's not as like dancey as I feel like it used to be. I feel like everyone used to love to like the band was on stage and you go up there and dance. Now it's just like who's this creepy
It's
rat?
like Blink 182 with Chuck E. Cheese as the front man, but on TV. He's not actually singing.
What are you hiding, Chuck? Mr. Chester E. Cheese.
We only go on like lunchtime on a random Tuesday. Chucky ain't coming out for lunchtime on a random Tuesday. It's literally just me and my son in Chuck E. Cheese.
That's all right.
Which is probably good because I don't think he'd fuck with Chucky, to be honest. He don't do mascots.
Yeah, Noah didn't
okay.
really until he was kind of like forced to take a picture and it was like kind of awkwardly smiled.
Santa, Easter Bunny, none of that flies with him.
Is it like, I don't know, having kids and having to take all these pictures, like you said, with the Easter Bunny and Santa? I feel like I haven't seen a Santa Claus that looks like a Santa Claus. Like it's either a cracked out Santa, he's way too skinny, the beard's not full, it looks like they don't want to be there. I don't remember the last time I saw, like, there was a picture opportunity with Santa and it looked like mall Santa.
I don't know about you, but we're taking pictures with actual Santa, so should probably be careful with what you say here.
Oh, there's a bunch of weirdos running around dressed like Santa.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
we just take
Right.
pictures with Santa, bro.
That's
I don't
fair.
know.
There's only one Santa Claus.
Yeah,
so I
my
don't
Santa
know.
looks like Santa. I don't
Maybe
know.
that's why we're messing up. You know?
I don't know whose lap you
Guys
put
are
your
saying
kid
they're
in.
Santa, but they're not Santa.
You know, this stuff
They're
happens
just
all the
Richard
time, though.
at Home Depot. You know,
This stuff happens all the time. Though. Like people get tricked into taking pictures with Santa. Some people think that they see Mickey Mouse and it's like a whole guy in a suit. There's only one of these things, okay? And we need to be careful.
my favorite are like the celebrities. They're like met blah blah blah, and it's like not even close to who it is. It's like good for you for thinking it was that person, but it was not that person.
If somebody mistakes you for a celebrity, are you playing along with it, or are you just being like, "Sorry, man, that's not me"?
I don't think I'm playing along with it.
Does it depend on who the celebrity is?
I think I'm a jerk sometimes, or I like to have fun sometimes. So if somebody came up to me, I might joke along, but then eventually I'd be like, listen, I didn't think you were actually serious. Let's be real here.
My friend dressed up as John Cena at an event in Lafayette, and all these little kids thought he was legit John Cena, and he just went along with it. So he had all these pictures, and it's just like all these kids like thinking he's John Cena.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't have the heart to tell the kid that you're not John Cena.
That's fair. Not the same at all. But when I used to deliver pizza, I delivered pizza to the Saints facility, and it was back when I was biggin'.
Yeah.
And Zach Streif was there, and he was the person I was delivering to. And there's a bunch of kids there for camp, and they're signing, like all the players are signing a football. The kids ran up to me with a football, and it could have been a joke. I don't know. They're like, hey, can you sign this? And I'm like, I'm just the pizza guy. And Zach Streif looked at me, and he was like, gave me the death stare, like, if you don't sign their football, boy. I signed their football, pizza guy. Some kids somewhere have Papa John's pizza guy signed on their football as me.
We should start a Instagram page where the bit is went to this place and met John Cena, and it's just us with our arm out and nobody's there. Go to another place, went here, ran into John Cena again. That should just be the entire Instagram page. I like it. I think we should do it.
Maybe it's not a bad idea. There's probably one out there somewhere.
I would get if somebody else created that. I would laugh at it.
It's silly.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of funny just to mix in like other celebrities too. It's just like you're constantly wrong. You're just like met blah blah. Like nope.
Oh, if you just
Are you
randomly,
missing the joke here?
I think he's missing the joke.
I know.
Okay.
I know the joke.
I was gonna say, are you missing the joke?
I'm just saying.
I kind of like both ideas though.
Yeah.
I don't mind the
Yeah.
whole like met John. You could do both technically. Met John Cena. Met like do it 50 times
Yeah.
and be like met 50 Cent, and it's like not. It's clearly Luther from Home Depot.
It was like when I during the Super Bowl, I thought I saw I could remember the guy. I still don't remember his name, but he's the guy from Law and Order, and I couldn't remember if it was Law and Order, like NCIS or one of the crime shows. And I'm sitting there belting out this show, and he's just like, "Nope, not me." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's you." And he's like, and he just keeps walking. He's like, "That's not me." And we figured out who it was. The show tried to call him when we saw him again, and he just kind of blew us off, which is understandable. There's too many crime shows out there.
So you got me wrong. Now I
Yeah.
want to talk to you.
Yeah.
You met Shane Gillis though, right?
I did.
What a
Very,
guy.
very tall gent. He's like 6'4".
I've been watching Tires on Netflix.
I hadn't watched a new season.
No,
I need to.
it's crushable. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
It's one of those
20-minute episodes, like
Yeah.
8-9 episodes.
And there's like, it's not like overly funny, but it's funny enough to where there's random moments where I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like I laugh and I'm like, what?
I've only seen clips from it. Is it scripted? It doesn't seem like it's scripted.
It is.
His
but
delivery is always like this. Even when he does his stand up,
Mm-hmm.
it all feels so natural. Like he's just coming up with it off the top of his head. And that's how the clips in the show seems like. Him in the show just seems like
Yeah.
him as a comedian.
Well, he's also Shane in the show. Like, I don't know.
See, I've never watched shows, so I don't know
yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah.
like I feel like that's a lot of comedy shows now. They'll like try to go off script and just see. As long as the actors don't break, they'll put it into the show, and they just keep spitballing stuff.
Yeah. It feels very,
Curb effect.
it's different, but it feels very much like Office vibes. Like, it's just like, I don't know. It's just,
That's what I got. I got the Office, Superstore, those kind of show vibes from it.
yeah,
New Girl type of thing.
it's funny.
I need to watch it just because it's him. I enjoy him a lot.
Yeah. He's a good guy. Shane and I are boys.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't know Shane. I'm just playing.
He drank some Bud Light in my hotel.
We
So
did.
we're basically best friends now. So
There you go. What a guy.
very on brand.
Right. Well, the show too. Every commercial is a Bud Light commercial in between the show now on Netflix.
He's got the sponsor. He's got to die with the sponsor. He can't not have the Bud Light. He had a Super Bowl commercial with Bud Light.
I think there's an episode though where he doesn't drink but there's like he's at a Applebee's with his dad and he orders a beer and it's not a Bud Light. Now I'm thinking about it. I think it's like a Coors.
I feel like I would get tired if I was sponsored by some beer. It's like after a while, it's like okay.
Yeah, but it's in a show. Like I think it's funny that I don't know. I kind of want to call it out. What a fucking liar, right? Ordering a Coors instead of a Bud Light in your show. Come on, man.
Extra money, baby.
It's probably not Coors. It could be Bud Light. It could be totally.
I don't know. I haven't seen the show. I'm just sitting this conversation out. I don't know. I don't know anybody. I don't know anything. I'm just sitting there.
I don't know.
You got topics, or we got to ask AI?
I have a lot of stuff written down.
I've asked ChatGPT for topics for terrible topics.
You know what though? So yes, but I find if you prompt it the right way, you can figure things out. I had a thought the other day, and I was like, "This is a topic I want to talk about." And I was like, "You know what? I feel like I need more examples like that." And here's what it was.
Okay.
And it came up with a name for the segment and everything.
Ooh.
And the name of this segment, presented by Being the No Network.
We haven't had a segment name in a long time. Here we go.
There you go. Is it that deep?
Ooh. Cute.
Let it simmer for a second. My wife had the same response earlier, and I'm like, God, why are we going left field with this? It doesn't have to be dirty every time, guys.
Yes, it does.
Just like certain words are dirty. Like someone says "hole," it's like immediately. It doesn't matter what the context is.
Is it deep? Is that the word? Deep?
Yeah, deep is definitely the word.
Got it. I have a bunch of these, but I don't want to do them all in one episode. I just want to do kind of one per episode, and if it's nothing, then we just move on.
Okay.
And the question really is it that deep? And you'll get the theme by the first one I ask. You have guests over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're warm. They decide to just walk up to your thermostat and adjust it. Is it that deep or?
Mm-hmm. It depends on how close. Ultimately, it depends on, to me, it's how much are you adjusting the temperature? Like if it's 72 in the house and then you go to crank it down like 66, we got a problem.
Nah, bro, that's crazy. Don't touch my thermostat,
crazy.
bro. Don't the nerve of you to go up to my thermostat, touch it. Don't touch my thermostat. And I'm not even one of those people that's like, nobody in the house touched this thermostat. Like in my house, I don't care. Touch it. But like, nah, no.
But how close are, like if y'all came over to my house and y'all turned my thermostat a few degrees, I'm not going to be like,
every time I walk in this man's house now, I'm touching the thermostat.
Just 1 degree.
Pranks on you, it stays on the same temp the whole time and
Not
it's
now.
cold.
Not now.
Not anymore. Every time we leave, it's going to be on 75. And you're going to be like, what?
Here's the thing. I don't even know that I would really care if you changed it. But you would do it and I would look at you like, the fuck was that, bro?
Like, man, you got fucking hot as hell in here, man.
No, not even that. I'd be so confused that you would just be bold enough.
Right. How do you feel like it's okay to walk in a man's house and touch his thermostat?
You are legit, especially if you're turning it down and turning the AC on, you're playing with somebody's pockets right now.
Right.
Brother.
Listen, even my own dad, right? My dad will sleep over sometimes. He'll take care of my daughter and I'll come home and my AC will be on a different temperature and I'll have to look at my wife and be like, baby, did you change? Were you hot? Baby, did you change this? And if she says no, all bets are off. I'll be like, listen, man, I get it, but we need to have a conversation about this.
I'm the only person who has to touch the thermostat, but that's mostly because I don't know if my wife knows how to work it. Smart thermostat. It's not that hard. You touch it and you put it to the button you want to put it on.
I don't want to throw my wife under the bus here because I don't know how the world's going to feel about this or how she'll feel about the reaction, but I'm going to say it. Do your wives also do the thing where they just don't understand how thermostats work, where it's like, I'm cold, she's like, I'm hot. I don't know. I can't remember what it is. She'll turn it up for no reason and she'll be like, well, I was cold or I was hot. I don't remember what it was. Now I'm butchering it. But maybe I'm the stupid
Who
one.
really doesn't understand the thermostat?
Yeah, I don't know.
My wife is just
move on.
My wife is just always
Drag it to
cold.
the trash, delete.
Yeah, my wife is just always cold, so she never touches the thermostat. It's either add blankets or turn fan off. That is her moves.
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't work, I can tell you in this, I guess 7 years or so we've had our house, I've never seen her even go near the thermostat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if she knows where it is, if I'm being honest with you. She never touched it. She might just be afraid to touch it because she think she's going to mess something up. I don't know.
No, my wife, she's a fucking thermostat Nazi. If it's hot in the house, she's cranking that thing. And like, she'll get passive aggressive with it and it'll be like 70 or 69 degrees. And then she get up in the middle and say, I'm hot. And I'm like, and then she'll get up and crank it even lower. I'm like, what are you doing?
Mm.
I'd also like to clarify, I'm not calling my wife stupid and saying she doesn't know how to work a thermostat. I'm saying that because it's a smart, we have the thing in my house where she's like, if she hits a light switch, it could fuck up all the lights at our house because they're all smart lights. So I think she feels the same way about the thermostat, that if she messes with it, it could just throw everything off.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, but also mine's on a schedule, so it rarely needs to be touched.
Yeah.
Like it's good. Like when the times we get home, it is set to go down and turn on.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to try this one more time without short circuit.
yeah,
Actually, you know
try
what?
again, bitch.
I think we're just going to stop. I can't even get the words out. Jeez Louise. What happens is it'll be cold outside and we'll have the heater on. And she'll be like, oh, I'm hot. I'm going to turn it down. So she'll turn it down to like 69. And then later she'll be like, I'm cold. Let me turn it back up. And I'll be like, well, you could just find a happy medium. You could put it on like 71, right? You could just leave it there.
Keep
and then
the warm air.
when it gets colder than that, it will turn back on. And it's like her brain short circuits like mine's been doing for the last 10 minutes.
How do we feel about those articles that come out every year where it's like, oh, they recommend you should keep your AC on 78 in the summer?
Fight me.
Yeah.
Just come to my house.
They tried to do that when they did that rolling blackout a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
They made, like, they had a whole press conference thing and the guy was like, yeah, you gotta like keep it on like 74, 75. I was like, okay, we could be reasonable with 74, 75. But if you start telling me I need to keep it on 78, 79, y'all better just pull this rolling blackout shit once a month because I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Just let me know ahead of time.
I went a whole summer a few years ago without AC and it was hell. I'm not doing that again.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was the worst couple months
I
of
don't
my
know how
life.
people did it back in the day. I just
Back in the day, they're still doing it in like England. No AC.
Yeah, but it's like 78 degrees. And they're like, oh my gosh, it's so
Scorching.
hot. And I'm like,
the brickle in the
come hang out.
I'll be honest, yeah, but still,
Scorching
like,
hot outside.
yeah, but also when it's 78 here, I would still very much like air conditioning.
That's fair. Because it also is humid there.
Yeah,
So I get it. If it's like 80 and humid here, it's not, but it doesn't feel
is it
nice.
though?
I'm somebody that's
I
like
don't think it's as
naturally
humid.
hot though, so like I want AC. I want AC in the winter. I'm not somebody that likes to turn the heater on a lot.
Psychopath.
Yeah, see, I used to sleep with my windows open when it was cold outside, and I'm trying to freeze my ass off
Yeah.
at night.
Let all them bugs and all them critters.
Well, I mean, I had the screen. I wasn't just
Shit.
leaving the window open.
The bugs are small, man.
Okay.
Get some gnats in
Bugs do be small. That is a fact.
Bugs do be small.
there. Bugs are also animals.
Also, bugs are not animals. Yeah. Good call out.
It got the people going, apparently.
Goodness.
I didn't even think about it. It was just like when we were talking about it, just started naming it. It seemed natural, and then people were like,
Well, because if
Well, it's
you've ever been to school and had a science class, you've learned that there's different genomes of
Yeah.
different.
It wasn't even the fact that they were like, they're not animals. It was the one that set me off was the one I sent you was like, generally, they're like, I guess you're right. Like, no, there is no guessing about this, motherfucker. I'm right. Bugs are animals. There is no, in this case, you're right, or you're somewhat right. No. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm right. Bugs are animals.
This is not an opinion.
Yeah.
There's facts and there's things that aren't facts.
And then you actually do the question. Like, shout out to this guy, I guess, because he kept driving some engagement. But you asked him to clarify it. He's died on this hill that we're only somewhat right.
It's like, well, when you think of animals, you think of farm animals or you think of cats and dogs. And I'm like, well, I mean, no. There's a lot of animals, actually. You think of cats and dogs and farm animals. You are one person, sir. And you are not the world. Listen, my dad told me when I was young and my mom told me the world don't revolve around you, son. We need to all learn that.
Yeah. I mean, the education system is failing people, clearly.
Sad.
Whatever.
I saw a post that said fireflies are talking about bugs. Fireflies are going extinct.
Oh, bummer.
Oh, That's upsetting.
Kind of sad.
That is sad.
I can't tell you the last time I even saw a firefly.
I had one land on my back door like last year sometime, and it was the first time I had ever seen one in person. Like, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Just like 2 or 3 of them just like land on my back door. I called my son over like, look, bug.
Bug.
Light bug.
It was cool. And then it flew away, and that was the end of that. Never seen another one since. But the roly-polies are coming back, so shout out to them.
Well, or maybe you were just somewhere where there's roly-polies still.
Well,
Way up high.
I don't know where I was, but I was by the cacti. That's where I was.
By the cacti.
They keep bringing back extinct animals. It's like every other week I keep seeing that they're finding extinct
We're
animals.
playing a
Did
dangerous
they?
game here.
What?
So we're playing a dangerous game here.
Finding extinct animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's bring back the dragon. Dragons don't miss.
They don't.
You know? You got more AI topics or what?
I do. So just slightly questionable things men do that might get clowned. Ordering too fancy at Starbucks. Let me get the iced oat milk honey blonde shaken espresso. Or here's another one. Knowing too much about skincare.
You know what?
You don't double cleanse?
On the top, before you even said that, I was gonna say something about lotioning your hands. I feel like would get you clowned.
How dare you not have
issues.
calluses?
Cuticles, knowing what a cuticle is.
That's why last week I was like, it's a cuticle, boy.
How dare you not have calluses on your hand?
I have started a skincare routine. I ain't even going front.
There you go.
I have. I bought and I looked up like the best thing. Like there's certain things that you should not be putting on your skin, right? Like I wash my face in the morning. Did you know there's a different type of lotion moisturizer that you should put on your face in the morning versus at night? Because in the morning, really what you're looking for is like an SPF type of guard for the sun when you go out, but it adds moisturizer. And then at night, it's a little different. It's a little thicker because it helps you through the night.
Okay, but what if I don't want the SPF part? Like if I
That
want to
doesn't
burn,
really matter.
Okay.
You can do it without it, but
I'm cool.
it's
you a
more
little
helpful.
daily moisturizer.
The sun is
Don't
bad
have
for your
one.
skin, buddy.
That's fine.
Supposedly, I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
Yeah, but also you're supposed to get sun.
You are. Vitamin D is very important for you.
Yeah.
I don't-
My Whoop says I should be getting more sun sometimes. So,
Oh, it tracks that.
well, you do it every morning. You journal, like what you don't write. You don't write in a journal.
All right.
It
So
actually-
things that should be clowned.
Yeah, no, it's not.
My
it's
guy's
not.
journaling.
It's not asking me about my feelings every morning. It's like, what time did you eat your last meal and things like that, and then it uses those things to judge how you versus how you slept.
And how did that make you feel?
Well, when I eat food,
Well, you have to read his journal for that.
yeah, when I eat food, when I get Cane's at midnight, I feel great. Does it affect my sleep positively? No, but I enjoy it.
Oh man.
The one thing that I do that I would assume it is trying to tell me is not good for my sleep is a lot of alcohol. But the data shows my best sleep comes after a lot of alcohol. So,
Wow.
I feel like it's waiting for the moment to be like bad. It's not coming.
I kind of hate everything ChatGPT is telling me right now. I'm reading through these
I'm
things that should
telling
get clowned. And like I do them all. So I'm like, we about to scrap. First of all, well, I don't order too fancy at Starbucks. I do know about skincare. I don't select Instagram filters. There was one. Let's see. Having a signature cocktail. I'm drinking a fucking signature cocktail right now.
Your signature cocktail is an old fashioned, I would say.
Sort of. This is a gold rush, sir.
Oh, do they mean like having your own recipe?
No, they just mean like, let me whip up my blackberry mint gin fizz.
Well,
That's
see,
what it says here.
you're not drinking your old fashioned right now.
I'm not.
But that's if I asked people who, I guess, somewhat know you, if you have a signature drink, I think most people would say that.
That's fair. An old fashioned.
It would either be that or maybe like an espresso martini.
Mm.
So I feel like you have a signature drink.
See, this is what happens, right? I do have a few. I like bourbon. I'll drink bourbon.
Right.
And then what happens is I finish the night with an espresso martini. If I'm feeling fancy or I'm feeling a little, if I'm questioning some things about my life, maybe my sexuality, I'll dive into some espresso martinis.
Okay.
I'm joking. It's a yoke, guys. Or is it? But yeah, I mean,
We had James Harrison come to the hotel during the Super Bowl. He ordered a martini, but he wanted it in a whiskey glass.
yeah, because he felt like it was
Exactly.
questionable.
He's like, I'm too swole and too much of a
Nah.
just
Get over it.
I'm very much in the camp of if you have a specialty drink that you feel needs to be in a certain type of glass, I would like to experience said drink in the glass you think it's meant to be experienced in. Judgment be damned.
I'm okay with that.
You know what? Don't hold the fucking umbrella either. Leave that bitch in
Put
there.
the umbrella in the drink. That's another reason I hated that song.
Yeah.
I was so upset.
You can't order signature drinks from places and be like,
Right.
hold this. I would like it without this. You just got to go for it.
If you're ordering the Bahama Mama, you can't hold the Mama.
You know how many times I've ordered a coffee from somewhere and they'd be like, it comes with cinnamon on it. And I'm like, well, I guess I got to drink the cinnamon knowing damn well I'm not going to like the cinnamon, but this is how they meant the drink to be. So I
Hold
have
the
figured
liquid nitrogen, please. I don't need the smoky
No.
cotton candy on the
Oh,
I
man.
disagree. It was like when we went to the Star Wars bar and they had
yeah.
they had all the cool drinks. Like half that shit was like you have to get it how it comes. You can't be like, nah, don't give me the special effects.
You got to experience the essence.
Yeah.
Essence matters. That's why they have a whole festival.
Do you
after
want to
it.
set my shot on fire? Yes, do it.
Sure. Dr. Pepper? Flamin'?
See, this is
Or
where
the thing, the baked Alaskas. Light it on
Those
fire.
get
It's
lit
not
on
really a
fire.
cocktail, but
Or like the tableside bananas Foster?
yeah.
Right. There you go. We can get into food.
Burn your eyebrows off. Flames make stuff more exciting, man.
Mhm.
Hibachi.
That's it. Hibachi, that flame scares the shit out of every 3-year-old that sits at the table. They still go back for more.
That volcano gets you, man.
Yeah.
The PP volcano.
oddly enough, when it comes to food, I will tell them to leave things off if it's a signature thing, which is odd. Drinks, I'm not the same.
Signatures and what? Like, this is our signature sauce. And you're like, no thanks.
Yeah.
You can't get something with a signature sauce and not get the signature sauce.
Yeah. Maybe.
It's like,
Alex is like they're from Sliders. She doesn't like their like slider sauce or whatever it is.
that's fair, I guess. But see, if I'm trying it for the first time, I want to experience it the way you meant it to be. From then on, if I don't like it, we'll change it.
Trust
but
the chef.
Yeah, but the
That's
first time
essential.
I got to try it the way you meant it to be.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't like it and I come back, if I know the only thing I didn't like about this was the special sauce, we'll change the sauce up and we'll be okay for the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I respect it.
Yeah.
Oh, the umbrella.
Like if you make you make your old fashions very specific way, right? So like if somebody came over and was like, "Hey, can you make me an old fashioned, but I want it done this way," you'd probably be like, "Nah, you're getting it the way I make it."
I'd be like, I didn't realize you were sexually confused. I didn't. That's fine. I have a lot of gay friends. I do, and I love them. I love each and every one of them. I swear to you, I do.
Or if they asked for the other type of cherries that you don't like,
We're gonna fight. That's not even. First of all, the other thing was a joke. This is actually serious. You want what kind of
I've
cherries?
been out with you enough to know the cherries will set him off.
Jeez.
I had it may be kind of ironically.
Did you say ironically or
Ironically.
erotically?
Maybe both. I'm horny. It was.
Yeet.
It was. Is it that deep? And it may be kind of related. I passed a. I was driving. I forgot where I was driving, but I passed a sign, and it was a deaf church. And in my head, I'm just thinking, how does that work? Or am I thinking too much into it?
I don't know. I genuinely don't.
Is it
know.
all sign language? Do they play? You can't play music because
Yeah.
no one can really hear
You
it.
could feel the vibrations. Feel the
Yeah.
vibration.
It's just like
Sorry.
I don't even know.
I genuinely don't know. Like maybe it is sign language. Maybe they're just worshiping or not worship. I guess they're just feeling this.
Feeling
They're not blind. Shit.
But it's just like
I don't know.
you just got a pastor up there and he's just throwing signs up.
Maybe.
Better watch what you do with your fingers.
I was gonna say we
I know.
learned. I had
We
to,
learned
I'll bring this up. I don't care. I learned last night actually that there's a sign for white power. Didn't know that because I'm not one of those guys. Apparently you can't make the 3 sign anymore because you just saw me do it. Now I feel like I'm ignorant.
I'm gonna get some use out of that,
Yeah.
brother. No.
Cut it, put it on
Yeah.
a t-shirt.
So
Yes. It'll sell.
it probably will sell. A lot of MAGAs out there. I brought it up and Dave made the joke, dang, I can't in basketball, I can't do 3 to the dome anymore.
I don't like how
guess
common. That's
not.
too common. I don't
Yeah.
like how common that is. Like I said, when I count to 3, sometimes
1, 2. No, yeah. No, when I say 3,
Yeah.
I do this.
You know what? If I count to 3, that's funny. If I count to 3, it is this. But if I'm just like out of the blue, yeah, there's 3 of them. I do this.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like that. I've done it way too many times now.
So
I don't
icky
use my
now.
pinky on 3.
Well, no, when you 1, 2, 3. But if you just say like, hey, that was 3,
Yeah.
3 strikes, you know,
There's a whole.
keep doing it. It feels yucky now.
There was this big trend of like females doing 3 different. Like they did it like
Yeah.
they said their numbers a little weird. Their signs a little weird.
If you count like this, you're weird. I don't understand.
Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's like what a psychopath.
Yeah.
What if you met somebody and they started counting? They just would randomly like just touch pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. What the fuck are you doing?
Just baseball signals.
It brings me to my next thought. And I actually genuinely was going to start the pod like this because I thought it would be hilarious. You ever wonder if you're autistic?
Could be sometimes.
I'm not even joking. Like there is I know it's fun. It's funny to like poke fun
Cut back
at
to about 15 minutes ago. I'm sure you questioned it for a little bit.
I'm saying there's a spectrum. And like sometimes I do things and I'm like,
Yeah.
am I on the spectrum?
Yeah.
We were out one night and the next day I felt very cringe because like we had been drinking and we were talking about it and I randomly was like, yeah, I think I might be. Cause like sometimes I just hate loud noises and this, and I like went down a rabbit hole of like 4 different things. I forget what I even said. The next day I woke up and I was like, am I autistic? I'm like, that's serious. Like, I don't know. And now I'm saying it. Now I feel yucky saying
Well, we
it.
talked
like,
about,
I love
we,
my autistic.
we talked
folks out
about
there.
just like doing stuff that you're like, you're basically just pissed off at yourself for doing something so stupid. And I was telling you the story, like I went and took out the trash. And then immediately after coming inside, I took something off the counter and threw it in the trash can without putting a trash bag in. I'm like, you stupid idiot. Like you literally just took the trash out and then you came back inside and completely forgot that you just had taken the trash out.
Been there. That's just creature of habit.
Yeah.
Real man of genius.
Mr. Throwing trash in the trash can without a bag. Is it throwing trash in the trash can without a bag, guy?
He poured his milk knowing he had no cereal, no milk.
Jeez.
We have our first new elite cracker in a long time, and we can't go an episode without mentioning it.
Yeah.
It's been 6 months maybe since might be longer than that since we've added somebody to the list.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Sophie Cunningham
Way to go.
for standing on. Like I guess it's just because she stands on business.
I love it personally. And it's funny because her backstory is like,
So that's why I asked. That's why I sent the question.
I think it bolsters her. The more I think about it, at first, so he texts me and he's like, hey, elite cracker maybe? And I'm like, absolutely. Because my brain is like, yep.
Because it's been like
I'm
recently,
autistic.
it's been Sabrina Carpenter and nobody else lately. Like of recent,
Yeah.
no, there's been nothing. We had Cody Rhodes for a minute, but even
She's kind of trending down a little bit. Like,
I don't
we
think
talked about it last week. She's getting some haters.
I think that
Yeah, the
elevates.
haters
I think that
blockers.
elevates her. To be honest,
So and I agree with that. That's kind of what I was getting at with Sophie Cunningham is like the whole, first of all, people were a little weird about her because she slept with her whatever at the Suns team. What was the Phoenix team? Not the Suns. Phoenix, whatever.
yeah.
God, I feel bad. Mercury. Yeah. I'm a WNB fan and I could WNB fan. I'm WNB fan. I can't even speak.
Go Wings. Sorry.
Sky. Fever taking it all, let's be honest. But yeah, she slept with her boss at the team. And now she's at another team and people were giving her crap about it. And she's also like this really tall, powerful, blonde, beautiful woman that like probably gets shit for that.
The Fever posted today. They said our bodyguard, and it was just a picture of her in the swimsuit.
Is that the official Fever account? Because the next post they had was her like in another outfit, and the caption was giggity. So is that cannot be the official Fever
It's gotta
account?
be, man.
I didn't see it. I don't know.
I mean, if it is, more power to him, I guess. But like,
you got to sell what works, first of all.
yeah,
Okay. I personally love that she grabbed the girl by the hair and said, do something about it.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
yeah,
But you could sell the sex, I guess.
I'm cool with it. Like
It's a fan page, I think.
Oh, okay.
her Instagram followers went from like 350 to 800,000. The 350K to 800K. Like,
Surprising that it took that for that to happen, but because I feel like she was already a pretty well-known name. Obviously, now it's...
As somebody who didn't really watch WNBA until now because I've adopted a team.
There you go.
She was one of the few I knew, but it was really mostly because she was Caitlin Clark adjacent.
Yeah.
You know?
Adjacent.
Yeah, I mean,
she just ended up on the Fever this year. She just got traded.
And that's why I knew who she was, because she became Caitlin Clark adjacent.
Yeah.
Her and the other one.
She's, to be fair.
Hall, was it Lexi Hall? Is that her name? The other tall blonde they have?
Yeah. She, in my opinion, is exactly what that Fever team needed, because last year, Caitlin Clark, first of all, Caitlin Clark talks shit, okay? Yeah. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, I can't believe people are so mean to Caitlin Clark. First of all, Caitlin Clark on the court she kind of deserves to get punched in the face, but she's also good enough to talk the shit she talks. Anyways, she needed somebody like Sophie Cunningham to back her up in that way and kind of be the bully. And, you know, I'm not saying she's Draymond Green, but like Steph Curry needs Draymond Green, right? I'm
going to ask this question, and I'm not asking it because I have an opinion on it. I'm generally curious. What does it say about the WNBA, that I only ever see the WNBA in the Twitter news when negative things are happening? When it's Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, when it's Sophie Cunningham doing Sophie Cunningham things. It's never, hey, I'm seeing the WNBA because Caitlin Clark had a crazy ass game or somebody put up a bunch of points. Like Paige Beckers had a crazy ass game a couple weeks ago. That wasn't all over my Twitter.
Yeah.
So what does that say about WNBA?
I think it's because that's what sells right now. So they're kind of diving into that. Like that is what, to be fair, that in general is what has elevated the women's game in general lately. Like from when Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese were in college, people talked about the drama. They didn't talk about the games, which sucks because they're both really good players. And say what you want about Angel Reese. I mean, I know there's some ups and downs. Her game's not phenomenal, but she's really good in certain areas. But people have only ever talked about the drama. And it's why people like, I can't think of other girls' names, right? There's other girls in the WNBA that have been, Asia Wilson, that have been really good, but like nobody talks about them because they're boring.
Yeah.
They're, you know, I don't know. I can't think.
True.
But they're boring.
You got to get people in the seats.
It's just weird. It's weird that I don't know I didn't know if it was a me thing because I'm not fully invested into the WNBA. Like maybe somebody who really watches the WNBA sees all of this stuff all the time. Like maybe my algorithm is just the drama. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's part of it for sure.
Right. So I'm like I only see Kelsey Plum pop up when Darren Waller's making a song. You know what I mean?
It was like 2 years ago.
Yeah. So like when they win the championship and she's smoking a cigar, then I see her. But it's never like on the court. It is never on the court stuff unless it's somebody's fighting on the court.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some pretty cool Caitlin Clark highlights that just come across my timeline where like she's shimmying in somebody's face like Steph Curry, which is dope.
I do see a lot of Angel Reese highlights, if you want to call it Angel highlights.
I mean,
it's always like a caption being like,
take the Centel, NBA Centel.
It's those kind of things with Angel Reese on my timeline, which is upsetting because she's like the best worst basketball player I've ever seen.
Yeah,
like fair. She's completely dominant in that league, but like she's not a great basketball player, if that makes sense.
She doesn't play winning basketball.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which I hate saying. It feels ugly to say that, but she doesn't play winning basketball, and it's clear. Look at her team.
Yeah.
If they win games, you can come tell me I'm a liar, but I don't know what else.
It's one of those situations where I feel like if I hate on Angel Reese at all, I'm gonna be judged in ways.
Well, we'll switch the subject and go to another one that's kind of polarizing. I shared it in our Discord today. Someone randomly on Facebook decided to compare Jameis Winston to Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
And they were like,
let's do it.
Jameis Winston's underrated. And they shared the stats, right? And it's like through the ages that they are right now.
We're bringing back a segment.
Okay, fine. It's like
You know where I'm going with this?
Maybe it's like through the ages that they are right now, and it's like they have the same amount of yardage, they have the same amount of touchdowns, they have the same amount of completion percentage. It's like a lot of things are really similar. But one thing they don't really call out, but is on the graphic, is one of them is sacked about 100 more times and has about 50 or 70 more fumbles. And I'm like, he also lost 40 more times. Like, there's some big differences here that we're just glossing over just because they have the same amount of yards and touchdowns. People don't know ball is really what I'm getting at. And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, you're really kind of shitting on my segment.
Bring it up. I probably already dove into
We used to play a game here where we would make Patty defend a player.
Oh, Jesus.
And it started with, tell me why Kenny Pickett is better than Dan Marino. And now it's going to be, I need you to defend Jameis Winston against Peyton Manning.
First of all, Peyton Manning has never had to wear contacts or glasses in his life, okay? Didn't throw 30 touchdowns blinded as a bat, so I don't want to hear a word out of you, okay? I'm just saying, all right? Jameis Winston is a hero to multiple fan bases. There's never been a quarterback that has gone from one team and hated by another team to that other team, and somehow that fan base fell in love with him. All right. To this day, people still ask for the Saints to trade for Jameis Winston just because of how beloved he is, right? There's also not any other quarterback in the league that will just throw up a Hail Mary. And when the coach asks him on the sideline, hey, what the fuck were you thinking? He says, oh, glory to God. Oh, glory to God. Okay. It was in God's hands. All right. Listen, Peyton Manning uses his brain. Jameis Winston trusts in the Lord. I'm just asking
you. Tell me what's better.
Yeah.
You tell me who is in a better place in life. I feel like I rest my case.
Pretty strong argument.
I feel like I rest my case. You made me do it.
I admit, this was a segment that you said you enjoyed. So guess what?
I will always do it.
When presented the opportunity, it's going to happen. And I appreciate it.
I'll always do it. Kenny Pickett is still a better quarterback than Dan Marino. He holds every record for his college. Dan Marino does not. They went to the same college. Fact.
Is that kind of like the baseball argument as far as like this guy had these crazy stats way back when, but he wouldn't be batting 225 in today's MLB. It's like you look at all these stats, like even being a Steelers fan, I didn't really grow up obviously in that time frame with Terry Bradshaw, but if you look up his career stats, it's like horrible. Yeah. Like no quarterback in today's league would start or even be a third string.
Are you asking me if I look at Troy Aikman's stats and be like, he's not a Hall of Famer? Because yes, I do.
It's like they get in the Hall of Fame and you look at their stats.
I think he's the biggest joke of a Hall of Fame quarterback or whatever. Like people look at Troy Aikman like he's one of the best. I guess they used to. I don't know if people talk about him anymore. He's a joke. His stats were terrible. He was carried by 2 Hall of Famers.
Terry Bradshaw, 212 touchdowns to 210 interceptions.
Yep.
It's like that's
not great.
No one's getting that opportunity.
You know who else was kind of like that? Brett Favre. Let's talk about it.
Let's. Oh, you mean, are we only allowed to bring up on the field stuff? Because then,
I don't know. Just bring up whatever. No, Brett Favre's the same way though. He led the league. He broke the record for the most interceptions ever thrown. Mm-hmm. And when he retired, people looked at him as like one of the greatest of all time. And sure, he won Super Bowls. And it's kind of the Jameis Winston argument. Like, if Jameis Winston was given the rope that Brett Favre was given, same quarterback. Yep. Hot take.
And I get the argument, like, well, it was more defensive centric back then, and it was harder to throw. And it's like, still like just horrible stats.
If Brett Favre wasn't Brett Favre, he'd probably have another Super Bowl.
That's true.
If he didn't Brett Favre against the Saints, he would probably have another Super Bowl.
Live and die by the way you play.
Live and let
and Jameis Winston would do the same damn thing, and you would hate him for it, but you would also love him. So it's
you'll appreciate this. When we were in San Diego, I can't believe I haven't told you this story. When we were in San Diego, I took an Uber back somewhere. Guy was from Minnesota. Or from he was from Minnesota. At the time was when the Timberwolves were playing in the playoffs still. Like I said, it was the Western Conference Finals. And we got on the conversation about that, and then we started talking about football. He's talking about the Vikings and everything. And we got on the conversation about how he still hasn't forgiven the Saints for what they did to Brett Favre. And he was like, man, I can't believe y'all did that to Brett Favre. I responded, best day of my life. We got in a conversation about how much I hate Brett Favre. Me and my Uber driver. I was like, of all the Uber, to anybody else, this is just a normal sports conversation in an Uber. To me, you brought up the person I hate more than anybody, and expect me to side because we were kind of getting to that point where like, yeah, I respect the Vikings for certain things they've done. He's like, yeah, I respect the Saints for certain things they've done, and then he brought up Brett Favre, and I was like, nope, that's where I draw the line, buddy.
Listen, buddy, we were friends 5 minutes ago. Yeah. Now I'm not sure. You're getting 0 stars.
I was like, you know what? I don't think they hit him enough.
First of all, call it what you want. People will probably look at me and be like, oh, he's a Saints fan. Get the bounties out of my face. It was football. In football, you were trained as a child to kill the other person that you were playing. I don't want to hear none of that.
Let's talk about it.
All of a sudden, we want to be sensitive. It's cancel culture all over again, just in the NFL. Like they got a video recording of a defensive coordinator saying "kill the head and the body will die." Of course, he was saying that he's a defensive coordinator. What'd you expect him to say?
I'm not even. Hug
him.
It's not even if it's true, which I'll go to my grave saying they don't have the evidence to prove it, like you're saying. But even if it was true, okay. So we decided to hit people extra hard. It's not. We didn't deflate balls. We didn't spy on people to get plays. What was the competitive advantage here? We just told our players to play harder. Please.
Play dirty.
That's even fine. That bullshit. Play dirty. Everybody plays dirty. I played high school football. They told us to take out the knees of the tight end because he was an all-star tight end. Like I was in high school. This is football, and I don't care. If you say it's not football, you're lying. Okay, you just never played football. They still do it. They just don't make it public. Also, sorry, this shit gets me heated. I hate it.
They always point out how we hurt Brett Favre and Kurt Warner. Both these guys were like the end of their careers, okay? Like, any hits were putting Brett Favre on his ass.
Brett Favre was already hurt.
Yeah.
Coming into the game.
We also played Peyton Manning. He's not sitting here fucking complaining about it. Right. You know what I mean?
You know who
all of a sudden, there was no bounty stuff in the Super Bowl. All of a sudden, we just stopped in the biggest game of the year. Please.
You know who he didn't hurt in the Vikings game? Adrian Peterson. He fumbled like 3 or 4 times.
Adrian Peterson got his ass whooped.
I'm just saying.
Let's talk about it.
Well,
I didn't watch the whole thing. I just saw he was fighting somebody at poker. I didn't.
Adrian Peterson was taking some hits on the chin. Now, to his credit, he was taking them licks and keeping it moving. But if we're saying who won and lost the fight, it was not Adrian Peterson who won.
Did he swing?
He swung, but I don't think he really connected.
There's a joke in here about him not fighting a child.
Dude, this kid.
No, I just don't want to.
That same kid is like in the class of like 2030 or something like that.
It was probably his kid beating his ass at the poker table. That's the joke I'll make, and I'll move on.
Yeah.
He's still one of the best running backs to ever do it.
Yeah, that's true,
Fair.
Actually. Very true.
Fair.
I've never seen somebody as dominant as Adrian Peterson.
And running back? Yeah.
I'm telling you. Like, I'm trying to think. Like, I don't. At his prime. Like, at his height.
It's been a while. Like, I feel like Derrick Henry is kind of in that vein. But before Derrick Henry, there really wasn't. Like, you had running backs that had a few years. Like, Zeke had like some dominant.
Those highlights,
I don't think it's Zeke. I think AP was good because of him and his talent. I still think like Zeke was good, but it was very much also that offensive line was nuts. Like that's an all-time great offensive line he ran behind forever.
Yeah.
So I feel like Derrick Henry, I mean, he was running behind the Titans line forever. It was just
But see, Derrick Henry's still doing it at 30-something or whatever it is.
I'm not saying Derrick Henry's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's
Adrian Peterson. It's the highlights for me of Adrian Peterson, literally like just running through people, and
it's also his whole like it's an entire career worth because there's a couple guys that had like a 2-3 years span where you're like, yeah. The only other person that somewhat comes to mind for me is Marshawn.
Yeah,
but it's still not like it wasn't like Hall of Fame numbers. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like obviously he's an all-time great. And his highlights are his highlights might be better than Adrian Peterson highlights. Yeah. Like the top of the top highlights. But it's not, I don't know, it's not the same level of dominance like you're saying. I don't know. You might be right.
It's hard to argue against it. I can't think of anybody else. There's there's names obviously we've said, but I just
like I said, there's been a lot of guys that have had a few years of just like this guy's gonna be good forever, then they just fall off the face of the earth.
that's the running back position in general.
Like you could argue that like McCaffrey has been dominant and has some highlights, but it's not the same for some reason because it's a finesse. Like it's the power, it's the way Adrian Peterson played is what makes it so special.
I feel like I'm picturing like 2 or 3 where he literally gets hit dead to rights at like the 2-yard line and just barrels over somebody. And I remember him running for like 98
Is it
yards.
the Steelers where he trucks somebody and then just like stomps on them and keeps going?
That's what I'm talking about.
Is it against the Steelers where Adrian Peterson like runs over somebody and then just like uses them as a stepping stone and just keeps going? I don't know.
Nah, bro.
I don't know if it's the Steelers.
Put that out of my
I feel like
memory,
you give Saquon a couple more years like he's been having, he could kind of go into that conversation.
Yeah, maybe.
He was always dominant. He's just got to stay healthy. He's almost in the same category as Cena.
It's another finesse. Yes, you can dominate a game and control a game as a finesse running back, but it's something about dominating it. I think Derrick Henry is a better
I do too.
example.
And it's funny because Adrian Peterson wasn't a big guy like that.
Yeah.
He was just like powerful with his frame. Like he could still run over you. And
I'd start to think like Jerome Bettis would probably be like the next like closest thing. Because that's the only
I love the bus. Okay, I don't want to speak ill of the bus,
but like I'm trying to think of big like powerful guys that would dominate games.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Jamal Lewis,
Eddie Lacy.
I went left field.
Eddie Lacy.
For like half a season.
Yeah.
Poor guy. He literally ate himself out of the league.
Yeah.
How do you do that, man? That's crazy.
Running backs that had a season. Ronnie Brown. I could play this game all day, buddy.
That was a good one.
The Wildcat, when the Wildcat came around, him and Ricky Williams.
What a thing.
Woo!
What a thing.
Man.
Peyton Hillis was one, but that's
Jordan
that's an
Madsen
easy
carried fantasy teams
BG,
for a whole year.
baby.
one.
The law firm.
That was one.
Saw him he randomly ended up in my Twitter timeline the other day. Like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. Why are you here?
Brandon Jacobs.
Brandon Jacobs. He had a couple of years, yeah.
Yep.
I don't think Darren Sproles ever had like.
No, I mean,
For what Darren Sproles was, he had a career.
he had a nice little career. He had like a really good year with the Eagles one year.
Talking about the Chris Ivories of the world.
I think Austin Eckler. He had a couple solid
Austin
years.
Eckler is a baller.
For sure. He had
but-
multiple years.
If you got 5+ years, I'm talking about somebody who had 1-2 years.
Did y'all say Peyton Hillis?
Yeah.
Eddie Lacy is actually a really good shout because when he was with Cleveland, he was damn good. And then when they traded him, or was it vice versa when they traded him to the Colts? What was first? Who drafted him? Was it Cleveland and then they
Eddie Lacy.
traded him to the Colts?
I feel like I'm misremembering Eddie Lacy.
Yeah.
It's
Packers.
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 Yeah. Eddie Lacy was a dude
They
that
just blew up.
he just got big.
Trent Richardson.
I think the Raiders got him.
Oh, yeah.
Trent Richardson.
Trent, he was never good. Trent Richardson.
He had a rookie season. He had a good rookie
Did he?
season. And then, I don't know if it was like all-time great rookie season. He had a good rookie season. And then they traded him. Remember, they traded him the next year for like a first-round pick. And he was terrible.
He wasn't good.
Was not. He
Then
was
he went
not
and played in
good.
the CFL and he wasn't good there either.
I don't know what happened there.
Crazy.
Shout out Ray Rice. Talking about people beating
Yeah.
good running backs.
Jeez. I mean, Peyton Hillis is the Hall of Fame one-hit wonder, right?
It made a Madden cover
Oh, for
based
sure.
off of one season.
And then never.
Yeah, but that was all. Yeah, but that was it was like the first fan vote.
Yeah, but who's
Yeah, but he
voting
ran for like 1,900
Right?
yards.
No.
Crazy.
You're absolutely. But like you're saying, he made the Madden cover because of it. But it was also like like if you give the fans the chance to vote for things, someone ridiculous has ended up on the cover.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, all right, so if they did a Madden vote still to this day and they put one offensive lineman as an option of the 32 teams, do you know who's winning the vote and getting on the cover? I know for sure I'm going to vote for the offensive lineman.
I don't think he would end up winning, but I could see why people would vote for him. I would vote for him.
Yeah. It doesn't even have to be offensive lineman. You could put like Myles Garrett. They're going to go vote Myles Garrett. It's never the defensive end that gets put on the cover.
Didn't Julius Peppers make the cover one year?
Are we talking one out of like 30 years here?
I don't know.
Like,
My first thought.
They put Troy Polamalu on their cover, and they couldn't even give him his own cover. They had to put Larry Fitzgerald on there too.
Larry Fitz. Anquan Bolden. How do we feel about him?
I used to love Anquan Bolden.
Yeah.
Steve Slayton. That's a fool.
Oof.
Yeah.
I was looking at running backs who had just like one good season.
Shout out to the Steelers for having like random wide receivers that would have like two good years and then go somewhere else.
And Martavis Bryant.
Yeah.
Marcus Wheaton had a little run.
Marcus Wheaton.
I was thinking of like Plaxico Burress and who was the other one? Like right after
Santonio Holmes.
Santonio
Yeah, but
Holmes.
Plaxico Burress has one of like the all-time Super Bowl moments for another team.
Jay Ajayi.
He
that's
caught
true.
Eli's touchdown.
That's true.
Mario Manningham.
That's another one.
I'm telling you, I will play this game all night long if we don't stop.
That's good.
I love this.
That's good. There's an Instagram I found the other day, and it's literally just that. And it's a guy who just says names, and then it clips to him somewhere else, and he's like, blah, blah, blah. And he just like, it's like almost like two guys having a conversation back and forth. And it's just like the most random athletes you can think of. Delino DeShields.
How do we
like? It's like what?
Rangers legend Delino DeShields.
Exactly.
I love Delino DeShields. My cousin met him at a Dallas Cowboys game actually, and sent me a picture. Do you know how much of do you realize how much you have to love a baseball player to recognize them in street clothes? She sent me the picture, and I immediately knew who it was.
I love that I got this story out of just saying Delino DeShields. That was the most random name I could think of. I had no idea. All right, cool.
Yeah. How do we feel about a new segment where we just take a bunch of random athlete names and put it in a bowl, and when we don't have a topic, we just pick a name?
I love it.
And we
love
see
that.
where every sport across sports.
Love it.
Obviously, sports we know. Like, I'm not gonna pick a rugby guy. Be like, hey,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I like it.
And I just might make fun of his name.
Start contributing to this bowl, the bowl of obscurity.
Give me random athlete names. Let's ask ChatGPT for the most random athlete name.
All right, this is how we're closing it out.
All right. ChatGPT, give me a random athlete name. All right, let's
If
see.
you texted somebody in your
This
phone,
is stupid. Chad Ochocinco. No, idiot.
I wish I knew. I need
Give
somebody
me
that'll text me
an
back immediately. Russ will text me
obscure
back.
name.
Let's see what Russ says. Russ,
Oh, that's a good one.
we're recording.
That's a good one.
Who?
Smush Parker.
Wow.
I know, right?
What a name.
Can you give me one fact about Smush Parker? He a Laker?
Yeah, former Laker. Slightly forgotten. I don't know. Where is he now? Perfect for a where are they now conversation. Well, where is he? Let's see.
I don't.
I'm gonna.
Can we include wrestlers in this?
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause I don't have one right now, but
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Smush Parker. You want to know where Smush Parker is now?
big
I
three.
like this.
Big three.
We should do this. So we'll this is what our segment will be in the future. We'll pick the name out of a hat and we'll be where they are now and we'll look it up. Anyways, Smush Parker, yes, that old school Lakers guard from the mid 2000s has been making a pretty interesting pivot lately. What is he doing now? He's training to become an NBA referee.
Oh, wow. I like that.
Yeah, he's aiming to join the exclusive group of former NBA players who become NBA officials. Only 3 have done it before. He's been working hard, attending referee camps, calling games in the basketball league, and even stepping up to college level officiating. I'm not reading this whole thing.
I was wondering how that worked.
There's going to be a time.
Referees work through the minors.
There's going to be a time we pull a name out of this, and it's where are they now? And it's going to be in prison for like second degree murder.
That's okay.
Like, no, but see,
dead.
because you have to pull the name, we have to go through their career for obviously first, right? Like, hey, why is this person interesting? Because he played for the Mets for a year and a half. And then we're all excited. And then, oh, where are they now? He killed 5 people and now he's in prison.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, I texted Russ. He didn't text me back fast enough. I was trying to see who the most random person he could give us was.
We get a baseball player because I feel like I know these. Oh, here's a good one. Lastings Millage.
Nope. Don't know who that is.
You don't know who that is?
No.
Damn it.
Sounds like a
Now, if you
keep it up pill.
If you want to talk Coco Crisp, we can talk Coco Crisp.
Okay. I like Coco Crisp. He had a temper on him. Lasting Millage was a former top prospect for the New York Mets in the mid 2000s. He had swagger, speed, and hype, but he never fully lived up
Do
to
you
the
know it
buzz.
because he's AAA? or he's minor leagues?
I knew it because I used to play baseball games when I was younger, and he was young and had A+ potential or something like that, and I would always trade for him and then make his ratings be through the roof because I wasn't waiting.
Got it.
Guess what, buddy? Your potential is now 99.
You have A+ potential? Great. Now you're a 99.
You made it.
I'm not paying you anything.
Lasting millage.
There you go. That's all I got. Wrap it up, little froggy.
No Willie, though. Shout out Bucky in the corner.
You took Bucky's spot.
See, so when I got, sorry to keep this going, when I got here, he was playing Pink Pony Club and Bucky was sitting here with that hat on. And I thought there was a tie-in. Like,
it was not.
I thought you knew. So I legitimately thought when I told you I was here, that you put Pink Pony Club on and had Bucky sitting here in a pink pony and a pink hat.
Nope.
There was no tie. All right.
Nope.
He's just
For the people who can't, nobody can see it. It's literally like the pink cowboy hat that you would imagine would be worn in that music video.
Yeah, it's pink and glittery. It's beautiful. It's my daughter's hat. My daughter actually snuck in the room and put Bucky in your chair and put the cowboy hat on him 3 days ago. And I just left him.
I like it.
And then I told my Alexa to play music before you walked in.
Well, now I think Bucky needs a permanent place on the pod for future reference.
Speaking of Alexa.
Yeah. Let's wrap this up before Alexa gets us taken down. What are we playing? Is it Sabrina?
Pink Pony Club.
Oh, is it Pink Pony Club?
No, it's Sabrina.
It is? Yeah, I thought it was Sabrina.
It's like an outro song. I feel like we're at the Grammys. We're giving the speech and the music's playing.
Right.
We know our elite crack read any,
Wrap it up. Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you. We love you. Until next time, maybe something in the works for a summer shirt.
Man, sorry.
Sneak peek. Maybe. Love you. Bye.
Joe Annoy.
Joe Annoy.